Hi guys, this is Kelly, and today I want to share with you 5 audiobook recommendations. And these aren't necessarily my top 5 favorites of all time. I just listen to a lot of audiobooks, so every once in a while I just want to give you some of my ones I really liked. With audiobooks, for me, it all depends on the narrator and kind of what they do in the background. Some books, do full cast, some do sound effects and music. They can be hokey sometimes, or sometimes they add to the ambiance. So I just kind of want to give you the ones that I like. Obviously, everybody has their tastes in narrator voices, so I would suggest trying these from your library first to make sure you like them before buying them. That's what I do, because I don't like to pay for an audiobook. They're expensive, whether from Audible or to actually physically buy one. It is a lot of money, so I like to be able to sample the narrator first. Sometimes Audible does let you sample it though, from what I know. I haven't used Audible in several years. The way I listen to my audiobooks now is on Scribd mainly, which is Scribd, and it does cost. It's a monthly, kind of like Netflix for books, and it has audiobooks and ebooks, and it has a really wide selection. So my husband and I share an account, and I think it's like $8 or $9 a month, and we get access to as many books at a time as we want, and you could download them onto your phone. So for example, I'm going on a flight this weekend. I downloaded 3 audiobooks and a couple ebooks, and so they'll just be there for my vacation, and I can turn it on airplane mode, or I won't have reception on my vacation, but I can still get access to all those books. So I think it's worth the money. But if you don't want to pay money, I also get them through my library apps. I don't know how your library works. My library actually has 3 different apps that we can use for both ebooks and audiobooks. We have Hoopla, which is both, and it also has movies on Hoopla. Libby, which is, I've heard a lot of libraries have Libby, so you might want to check if yours does. And then the other one I have, I think, is an Illinois one. It's called eRead Illinois, is the main thing that it goes through with my library, and then the app on my phone is called Access 360. So I don't know if that app connects to other library systems, but if you're in Illinois, I'm assuming you probably have access to Access 360. So just go to your library and ask them what their apps are, and those are really great. A lot of times they'll only let you check out a couple at a time, and you might have to wait, where Scribd you don't have to wait to use them, but I use all of it, so just whatever is available at the time or whatever I can get within a couple weeks. So here are 5 recommendations. I have a mix of some YA, some adult, and 1 nonfiction. And my first one that I read recently, or listened to recently, was the Lunar Chronicles. And so the same narrator does all 4 novels. So Cinder, Scarlet, Cress, Winter. She also does the collection of short stories, Stars Above, and Fairest, the novella. And the narrator is named Rebecca Soler, and I really enjoy her. I think she's very easy to listen to. She does a good job with the different characters. And the great thing about listening to a series is that if you really like the narrator, you start to connect the characters with the way they do the voices, and then it feels like you're visiting friends each time you read the next book. And so now I don't think I could even read these physically, because I really enjoy hearing the characters in my ear when I listen to it. So I really enjoy this. I don't think this is on Scribd right now. I got it on one of my library apps. And the next series, YA series that I listen to, is the Selection series by Kiera. And I listened to just the first 3, the Selection, the Elite, and the One. Those are all one narrator, and then the other ones are a separate narrator. And the narrator for the first 3 is named Amy Rubinate, and I really enjoyed her. She had kind of that voice that works with young voices, so she doesn't sound older. A lot of times you listen to YA books and it really turns me off when the narrator sounds really old, because it's a young character, especially when it's told from that young character's point of view. And so her voice is young enough and sounds like it could actually be a teenager, and it just worked really well with this series. And what I liked about it is that sometimes I do my audiobooks when I'm going on a walk, or I'm packing, or doing something that I don't want to pay attention fully. And this is such an easy book Like, it doesn't take a lot of concentration. They're kind of shorter books, so you can just like pop in the audiobook, listen to it for a couple days, and be done with the whole book. And then the whole series, I think I listened to the whole series in like a week and a half between like doing chores and taking walks. So I enjoyed her. And then I have a couple adult books. I don't have the dust jacket for this, but this is All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. And the narrator for this is Appelman. And this is the kind of audiobook where if you want a really long audiobook that's going to take you maybe the whole month to listen to periodically, this is a 16-hour audiobook. And so you can really just listen to it for a long time. I actually went back and forth between reading the book and listening to the audiobook when I did this, because since this is such a huge like book, there were times when I wanted to keep reading it, but I was doing other tasks, so it made it so that I could sit and read for a little bit when I had time, and then find it where I was in the audiobook and continue on, and that way I didn't have to put it down. So that one I really enjoyed. He's got a great voice to listen to for this book. And it sounds like I have to go get Eliza. I'll be right back. Alright guys, I know no time has passed for you, but I had to go get Eliza out from her nap because she was upset. So she's got a little bedhead going on, if you could see. Alright, so you're going to join me for the rest? So the next one I have is another adult book, and that is The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. And if you don't know, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is just a quirky little sci-fi classic. It's just fun and weird, and the narrator for the first book, at least, because there's a series, the first book is Stephen Fry, and he just has the perfect voice for that book because his voice lends like almost credibility to the story, even though the story is completely ridiculous. And so it's kind of like a weird contrast between his like proper sounding voice and the content of the book, which is like just completely ridiculous. And I liked listening to it. I've read it before, but I liked listening to it because it just, the different voices of the different alien species and stuff like that, he makes little different voices, and it was just a fun, easy thing to listen to and have in the background, and every once in a while I would laugh out loud. So if you want kind of like a little comedy sci-fi, I would suggest Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. He only narrates the first book. I think the next 3 books are narrated by Martin Freeman. I have not listened to those, so I can't recommend them. So maybe later on, if I check them out, I will let you know if they are any good. And then the last one I have is a nonfiction memoir, and that's The Girl with the Lower Back Tattoo by Amy Schumer. And she self-narrates this book. A lot of the celebrities will narrate their own memoirs. And I read them every once in a while, listen to them mainly. I don't read the actual books. I find that celebrity memoirs are better to listen to because you get their voice and their inflection while they're telling their story. And most of the time they're just kind of like fluff books that I can just listen to in the background. But this one was a lot better than what I expected. I expected it to just be funny because she's a funny person. But it got really serious there. She talks a lot about her family. Her father is sick and or has an illness, and like she talks a lot about his illness and his decline throughout the book. It had some parts about her first sexual experience that I really connected with, and just it was something that I needed at the time to listen to. And so in terms of celebrity memoirs, I really enjoyed listening to her. And her voice is fun to listen to because even when she's talking about serious stuff, she puts a little light spin on it with her humor and her voice. So I enjoy her. So those are the 5 that I'm going to recommend today. I'll probably do another one of these videos in the future since I do read a lot of books on audio, especially when I'm trying to get this one to nap. It's easy to just throw in my headphones and listen to one while I'm trying to get her to go to sleep. All right, thanks. See you later.